Hello, we are live with Checkmate Flips. This is an interview with him. He does eBay to Amazon, so he buys products that are super cheap on eBay and then sells them on Amazon at a higher price. He makes a full-time income doing that. And hi, Seth. How's it going?
Going good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so Seth, can you just kind of tell us about your story about how you got into selling on Amazon and why you decided to sell on Amazon in the first place?
Yeah, so I'll give a little bit of a condensed version of it, but basically, I started with selling used clothing back in 2019. My brother came back from college one summer and he was like, "Hey, I'm making $600 a month selling used clothing, like on the side while I'm in school." And I was in school myself as well. And I was like, all right, that sounds fun, because I'd been wanting to flip stuff for a long time, but I had tried like buying snowboard jackets off Craigslist and selling them back on Craigslist, and that was garbage. Tried like snowboards. It was really bad. So like doing it with a real like decent platform. Um, Depop is a decent platform. Not the best, but it worked. Yeah, so I started with used clothing, eventually did eBay, eventually did eBay full time. I decided to take a pause from my internship that I was going to school to be a counselor when the whole pandemic happened. Really enjoyed it. Eventually switched into Amazon FBA books, and then retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, and now eBay to Amazon. So tried to give like a little condensed version there because I could just keep talking about it. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
So I feel like one of the initial things with entrepreneurship in general is like you had this traditional job and then you got into doing selling online full time. What was that transition like? And was there people who were like, man, I don't know about this, Seth. Like,
but yeah. So funny story. I was telling a friend about this the other day. I was doing my master's degree in counseling. I was about probably 6 to 12 months from being done. So I never had that like traditional job or anything, but I was kind of like on my way to like getting there. And I decided to just like be done with it and sell full time. So my dad, I saw my dad like a week later, and he brought a piece of paper with like 7 like reasons why I should finish my degree. And I was like, thanks, Dad, but I'm gonna just keep going with this. No hate on him or anything. He loves me. He gets it, but yeah, it's just like super weird, like taking that leap of like, you kind of are raised to think like, oh, a job is like the way to make money. Like, how am I gonna make things work if like this doesn't work? But like, now that I know you feel this way probably, but like if Amazon didn't work out, or if your specific business model didn't work out, there are other business models or even other platforms you could sell on and make a full-time income and do just fine. So it's like you build those skills. It's like you kind of drink the Kool-Aid and you're like, all right, like that whole thought about like, I need a job in order to make money, it just like falls off. And you're just like, yep, if this doesn't work out, there's 10 other ways.
Yeah, it's definitely a complete mindset change. And I only ask that question because that's where most people are at. They're seeing this Amazon thing. They're seeing people with the orange bars, right? Seeing all these screenshots, and their family's telling them that they can't do it. Whoever's telling them they can't do it, this and that. So I just really think it's interesting to ask, with your story, because it's just how it is with entrepreneurship. It's kind of against the grain, so it's kind of untraditional, but we're making it work, right?
Exactly. And like, I just want to say like 2 things. Like we talk about like quitting our jobs and stuff like that. Like I would probably say like, if you have a full-time job and you can do Amazon on the side for a while until you actually like really know what you're doing and making solid money, like that's a great way to do really well with this and actually like be secure with it. And then if you do make the leap to go full-time, if you can keep your cost of living low, at least for a while, so you can get like actually have this space to develop the skills without being so worried about like, wow, I need to make 6K a month right now in order to make this work, because that's a lot of pressure on someone who's trying to learn a skill. That definitely can make 6K a month or more, whatever it is in the future. But like when you have that pressure from like day one, like what are you supposed to do? Like you can't just like go to a jujitsu school and be like, yeah, I'm going to strangle him first day, you know, like it's a skill. Like you got to learn things first.
Yeah. You don't walk in the door and become a black belt.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that time period where you're just dabbling in selling online before you went full time, how long was that time period? Because I know a lot of people, they want to get into this, make money quick, and that's definitely not the case, right? So how long do you think that took you just to take the full leap?
Yeah, I was doing it part-time from May 2019 until March 2020. So it was almost a year. Yeah.
Nice.
No. It was May 2018. So almost 2 years.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It was
like,
not that
like
long.
a little bit longer, but
Yeah, no, it was around 2 years. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
remember. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, that's how it is. Like, it's I've also done other business models, other things selling online too. It takes a while. I really like that you bring up that, like, it does not, it's not overnight.
Yeah.
It's a long process.
And like for me, a part of that process was like I got proficient, like good enough at the skill of being able to thrift an item, like a used clothing or used shoes or like something like that, and being able to like list it on eBay and sell it. And like I was really comfortable with that. But my first attempt of online arbitrage was like, I'm gonna buy like a Peruvian Express sweater, like high-end sweater, and like sell it back on eBay. And like there were like several like really bad attempts that just did not work well. Like I think I lost like $30, like solid $30 on that flip. Like online arbitrage is like a completely different skill, and there's just it's a long process, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. So now, can you kind of bridge the gap for us? So, started selling on eBay. Yeah, started selling on eBay, started selling on Depop, and then now you've transitioned, and now you're selling on Amazon and just buying from eBay. How long, or how do we get this? What did you have to learn to going from say 10K a month being an Amazon seller to now doing 50K and plus?
Yeah, so bridging the gap there, I basically was doing eBay full time in 2020. I thought that selling books on Amazon as a side hustle to my side hustle, full time side hustle, would be fun. And eventually, as I started learning that process, I'm like, wow, it's easier to find books than my eBay inventory, and it's quicker to list. So I had a potential profit goal. So I would just be like, okay, I need to do this percentage eBay and then this percentage Amazon books. And then like the percentage started like growing and growing, more Amazon. And then eventually I just did Amazon books full time. So, I mean, I didn't do online arbitrage for Amazon until late 21. So like there was a whole year of time in between that. Like I did books for like 7 months straight where I wasn't doing any online arbitrage at all, doing 8 to 15K months with books before I even did any of that.
Yeah. And during that phase when you were learning, was it just like for me, I see it as a indoctrination phase. So like that's kind of a weird way to say it, but every single day you're listening to like how to make money online for certain things, you're learning different software. Did you kind of experience that where you're just every single day like you got the Gary V in your head and you're just going at it, or how was that like?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely like super helpful. Like listen to as much content as you can, learn as much as you can. Late 2020, I encountered, started learning from like Caleb Roth and Matthew Osborne with the 100 book challenge. And then of course I found Romer the Roamer and started learning from him. And then I took his book selling course. And so that type of stuff helped a lot. As I transitioned from books to other products, like was definitely like learning and like indoctrinating myself a lot with a bunch of other types of stuff like that. So yeah, there's just so much to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think the courses really helped you out?
Yeah, it was a massive shortcut. Like courses from someone you trust is like a massive shortcut. Like really, you can pay someone like $400 on Black Friday to like give you the information needed to like make 3-4K a month and do this full time. Like that's great. And I mean, there's better deals out there too. So like, yeah, definitely
Yeah.
a good choice.
It definitely, you guys are fans of Alex Ramosi, like the ignorance tax, right? Like, you don't know what you don't know, right? And you pay for not knowing things. And like courses have made me a lot of money, and it definitely helped Seth out, as you just said, right?
Yeah.
So what really goes into buying on eBay full time? I'm sure a bunch of the listeners, this channel is mostly about online arbitrage, right? Buying from eBay, selling on Amazon is definitely still online arbitrage. But what really goes into buying on eBay full time and then selling on Amazon full time? How do you think that's different than somebody just buying on other retailers' websites and then selling on Amazon?
Yeah, so let's address the big elephant in the room, which is IP issues with eBay to Amazon. That's the biggest thing I hear all the time. And like honestly, I would suggest people, and this is not like financial advice or anything, but I mean this is cautious advice. Like if you haven't sold like several hundred items on your Amazon account, you should probably not do eBay to Amazon right off the bat. Because like from my knowledge, a completely new Amazon seller account is much more like fragile, if that makes sense, than like an older account who at least has like some sales under their belt. So like when I started doing eBay to Amazon, I had sold 5,000 plus books. I had sold lots of RA items. I had sold like Walmart, like grocery, random OA stuff, like thousands of items. And so like my account wasn't really in the position where if I got one claim and I made a mistake, like I was going to get suspended most likely. So that's the elephant in the room. But then like what goes into actually buying the items, it's like we just need to find items that sell on Amazon that like, we're taking it from eBay. I'm trying to like do it with the screen. Take it from, yeah, because it's like you think you're over here, but like I'm over here on the other side. So I'm just not going to talk with my hands. Yeah, honestly. You just take it from like eBay. Like eBay has a reputation of being like bad customer service, like grumpy sellers who don't want to give you a return, like not good presentation of the items, less users than Amazon, and you put it on Amazon where like customers always right. If they want their money back for a return, like they get their money back, they're safe. Amazon's always in stock on a lot of things, almost everything. So like people don't even think about buying on eBay for like their personal consumption. But like people will sell stuff much, much cheaper on eBay. And so you just take it from one marketplace, sell it on a better marketplace. And not always there's a margin, obviously. Like a lot of the time there's still no margin, but you have to find the items that there are margin on. And there's plenty of them. Like you've been doing eBay to Amazon as well, right, Cody? Some of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you kind of in the past since last year, you were doing more of used, and now you're doing new items. For the new items that you're selling on eBay, I've noticed that a lot of them are kind of a little bit unsealed, or maybe the seal's gone, but it's still new. How do you deal with that? Because that was one of my really kind of barriers when I went into doing eBay to Amazon. It was like, I don't know whether or not to sell this new item that's new, but it doesn't have the seal and I don't have the invoice for it. So what would you say to somebody that has that question?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and um, given some gold here, but like some items they have a seal, some items they don't have a seal. Like it's different for every item. Um, it feels like there's some situations where it's more appropriate to sell like completely sealed, like has to be new, and a customer really wants that and needs that. And then there's other situations where um, like that might not even be true at all. So it really depends on the item. I like to think like a customer buying this item, are they going to be happy to receive this item as new like this? Um, and I try to follow that as much as I can. There's definitely some situations where I'm like, all right, like we're going to make a killing on this. It's close enough to sealed, and we just go for it. But like with this whole question, like I've been talking about this a lot recently, but like if you get an app like scheduled or something to give yourself reminders in the future, what I'll do is I do this with like weird keepas as well. I'll basically like buy an item like, oh, maybe it was iffy whether it was new or not. And maybe we bought like 3 units of it or whatever. I'll set a reminder for 2 months in advance to look at the ACE and profitability of that and see what our return rate was like. To see like, okay, like we did this situation. How did it turn out for us in 2 months? So like I try to do that with stuff like that. I try to do that with weird keepas, different situations, and like you learn the lessons of like what you can do and what you can't do, or what's risky to do, or what's going to give you refunds. By doing that, you don't like just go buy like 300 units that aren't like sealed and like open box like that. You know what I mean? You kind of have to like figure out what actually works and what will give you issues.
Yeah. For the new seller that's just trying, maybe they're already doing online arbitrage and they want to supplement their income with a little bit of eBay to Amazon, what do you suggest they do if they never bought from eBay to sell on to Amazon before?
Well, first of all, I would say, um, yeah, probably like DVDs, like new DVDs is one of the easiest ways to get started, I think. Another thing you could do is like used books, eBay to Amazon, and like there's a lot of opportunities where it's like you're only buying it for like $5 to $15, but like you can sell and make a profit on Amazon, and that's a good way to like get some reps in and get comfortable with it. Same situation with DVDs, like they're not like super expensive. I know we were talking last on my stream about selling $1,000 items. Like maybe don't start with that, but try that. Try that later, maybe. Yeah. So I mean, what's that?
Start small.
Start small and like definitely like get the skill and confidence up so that you can do other things. But like as a beginner, like you can start small. You can buy like an item for $10, try and sell it for $20, $30, $40. $40 would be cool, but yeah. So used books, new DVDs. The DVD Ungate is Christian Books. You can buy DVDs from there and Ungate on Amazon. That probably still works. Yeah, those are probably the easiest places to start.
Gotcha. DVDs. Is there any other tips and tricks for somebody that's trying to, maybe they searched on eBay, they looked at some DVDs and they're having a hard time. Do you think there's anything, I mean, not to give away like too many secrets, but is there anything in particular? Maybe they're just in like a rut and they just can't find that first item. Do you think they're like, what strategies do you think they should try as a complete beginner?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think exactly, because the first couple products are the hardest because like you kind of don't know what you're looking for. You're not like, oh, I'm the calculator guy or like I'm the DVD guy. You kind of don't give a care because you're just like, I want to find something profitable. So you don't
Yeah.
have a reference point. Um, just like a freebie item, the TI 83 plus, like that's pretty easy to find. That's you probably want to like look around and try and get it at a good price, make sure the screen isn't broken, but that's a good item to sell used. DVDs, you could use something like Flipmine for DVDs. Flipmine's a good one. I think Cody has a link down below, most likely. But get him some.
Give me the flip mind plug. It's a really great software.
I mean, it's underrated. I honestly don't talk about it too much for that reason. But
It wants to keep it secret. Yeah, it's
not quite, but it's just like it's good. But and then also like once you get better, like building a replenishable list is like really good because you can just expand off all your ideas really well. But then also like if you've been selling for a while, like look for the stuff you sold like 11 months ago, but like isn't in stock on your retail sites anymore. Also, if you've thrifted before, like if you've thrifted for like kitchen items, electronic items, office items, maybe even beauty items potentially, like there's a whole like market of stuff that like, like it's not in stock anywhere anymore. Like eBay is your place. And like people are still wanting it. There's a select amount of customers who like will pay 4x what it was going for before on Amazon. And then an eBay seller comes along and they're like, oh, wow, I got this thing. Oh, it retails for $20. Oh, I could sell it for $30. Awesome. And then you buy it and you sell it for 90. Like,
yeah. That all right. Seth is giving out the real game right there. That is that's definitely what I found with some of the items where you're selling OA and then you're like, I can't get it anymore. Let's check eBay. Let's check, and maybe not even eBay. Let's check one of the other random sites like Facebook Marketplace, and
yeah.
sometimes you find gold, right?
Yeah, and then you get me. I'm like too lazy to even go on those sites, and which is why there's stuff to go on. There's stuff on those sites. Like it's good.
I think I kind of group it in with the eBay to Amazon model. I think like just that whole aspect of you're just buying from like Macari, Ofra, Poshmark, like all those others, and then eBay, and then putting it onto Amazon. It's just such a huge opportunity. Not too many people are talking about it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Steve's
But
talking
there
about
is the added risk.
kind of just us and Steve, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, this is kind of aside from the interview necessarily, but I was like, I feel like kind of a phony sometimes because it's like I'm like mostly doing OA, but I'll still buy stuff off of eBay. Like I feel like it's good to have a very diversified. Like I see my catalog as kind of like a portfolio in a way, and I would want to diversify it as much as possible. Say I'm sourcing from certain websites, and those certain websites ban me, or those certain websites don't carry the arbitrageable products that I was buying before. I still have the eBay to Amazon business, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it definitely is a nice transition in from regular online arbitrage because like if you do online arbitrage, you have most of the skills like to do eBay to Amazon. In some ways it could be easier, in some ways it could be harder. But it's good to be able to like do another method if you want to do another method.
I love the simplicity of eBay to Amazon. I feel like OA is, I don't know how to say it other than like you got some people that are doing OA, not bashing on anybody that are like I mean I'm the person that does it that's like super sweaty, right? They're like, oh I need to save an extra 2% with the top cash back, not use Rakuten, right? I'll do the top cash back and the discounted gift card and the whatever it is, like coupon code on the side and stack all of them, and then it's it gets to be pretty intense, and then you just have, oh, just buy it on eBay and check out.
Yeah. And like maybe 50% Capital One Spark card on it or something, or like, yeah, I mean, that's super simple compared to like, let's make sure I mean, I try to use Top Cash back, but it's like, I get like 0.5% on most of my purchases, which is like silly. Like I make so little off Top Cash back because it's eBay. It's just so it is super simple. But yeah.
Yeah, and then there's OA where you have like 7 different extensions, and you're using Cashback Monitor, and you're doing all these other things to maximize every little bit, or at least I do.
Yeah.
And you're worried about, Seth, I'm pretty sure I've asked you before, like, what do you do about order cancel, or just something like really stupid like that? And you're like, it doesn't happen. You just check out. I'm like, what do you mean you just check out?
Check out.
You just check. Yeah.
I mean, I actually just randomly saw on my phone, order canceled. You received a refund.
Oh no.
That happens like every couple hundred orders. Because like the seller wants to get paid. Like they sold it at $30 for a reason. Like they wanted $30. You gave them $30. Like I don't know why more retailers aren't like that. It's like, bro, like you're trying to move product. Like I'm trying to help you move product. I mean, I get it. Like resellers, sometimes they like buy a bunch of stuff and then return it. They want to make sure they're in stock for all of their customers. So I get it, but it's frustrating.
Yeah. So one thing that you can't really do with I call it traditional OA, just buying from like say Walmart and selling on Amazon. When you're doing buying from eBay to Amazon, you're buying on eBay, they have the offers. I don't necessarily want to call you a lowballer, Seth, but do you really take advantage of that feature a lot, or?
I'm a very empathetic lowballer, if that makes sense. Like before I make an offer, I usually try to think about like, what is the seller thinking? Like, let's say they have it listed at like 120 and like 120 is like 40% ROI or whatever. I don't know. These numbers aren't going to be perfect, but like, let's say they have it listed at 120, like I'll send them like a 101 or something, or like 105, because they probably listed it at 120, like saying like, I hope I get 100 for this.
Yeah.
So like, instead of just like sending them like 55, they're going to be like F off, declined, and then block you. But like, it just like, you can send lowball offers and it sometimes works, but like the better time spent from what I found is like generally find like an item that you were like, yeah, this is good. I would love to get it cheaper. But like, if I bought this at the buy it now price, like I'd still make some money. But then send them like 25% off, 15% off. I smell too much sauce here, Checkmate Flips. We've been talking on Instagram. What's up? Good to see you. I don't know how to say your name, but what's up? Orgies?
Yeah.
But good to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, Cody, how do you approach offers? Do you just slam them?
I'm a dirty lowballer. We
Dirty
lowball.
I mean, it works.
I mean, I'll send, not all the time. Sometimes it's like $5.
Yeah.
I send offers to make it work, but I'm like, hey, if you don't want to accept that, that's completely fine. But if you want to take this price, I'll buy it right now. That's pretty much how I do it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like, basically, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'll buy it at this price if you're willing to sell right now. So I don't really see as like I've definitely been on the other end of that. I mean, I'm still an eBay seller too.
Same. I have like 17 items listed. It's just like such a small eBay seller for now, but that's the plan. Yeah, it's like I've been on the other side of it, and it's like sometimes there are times where people have lowballed me, and I'm like, yes, please take my inventory. Please give me money. Like, thank you. Like, you'd be surprised, like people just want to get money for their stuff. Like they thrifted it, they estate sale found it, they got a liquidation deal, they sold it on a pallet. Like they want money. Like some of these eBay sellers need to pay their freaking rents. Like just give them some money.
Yep. I've definitely been on the other side of the lowballing, and I accept it all the time, especially now with the Amazon returns.
Yeah.
It's like maybe I listed it for 70 or 80. Like I'll take $30. Like
Yeah.
I'll make the money selling on Amazon. We just want to get something back from it. Well,
last year I was selling those those Dymo thermal printers. I was selling those on Amazon used, and I was liquidating some returns, and my main person who was selling those on the same listings like sent me a lowball offer for like 5 of them, and I'm like, sure, here you go. Like
you're going back to Amazon.
Yep. Hopefully he repairs them, but yeah.
It's funny. Well, thank you for showing up, Seth. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, if you guys, well, not if you want to, definitely go over to Seth's channel. He has so much content. He's got highly edited content for eBay to Amazon. It's an amazing business model to do. There's really not too much competition at all. There's like what is there? There's like 3 to 5 people on social media that make content for eBay to Amazon. Like this is so niche. It's like a niche of a niche of a niche. There's a lot of opportunity out here too, because there's tons of products that are, discontinued, or for whatever reason, there's price discrepancies from eBay to Amazon. So definitely take advantage of that. Tons of free info out here. Thanks for spinning the game today, Seth. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on. Have a good one, guys. Take care.
Yep.